Guys, how's it going? So you guys may be wondering, all right, we've got the Soul Tamer Master, and more importantly, you go into Tiger Trap and you're wondering where the hell is the clue? Where's this at? Okay, you just go over to Pals, bottom right. And then if you notice, if you go back, you'll notice you got the clue. So that's your first clue. Now you know. Well, the next thing is Lord of the Beasts is going on. So for the whole measly $1,000, you too can have a giant dragon that looks really cool. But, naturally, he does 40% current basic attack damage per second until the battle ends, stacking up to 3 times. So, as you might imagine, that's going to be pretty overpowered. It's also $1,000. So, of course, there's also the Trapped Wrath, which that's going to give you more damage as you lose health. So every time you lose 5%, you get a 40% chance to do AoE damage, up to 400% skill damage. Current combo is only going to be 160 on current combo and counter, and 1% of the target's max HP. Now at 10%, you get a 60% chance to do 600% skill damage, and then 240 of the others. And each missing 20% then goes up to 1,400, and then 2% of the target's HP. So, the main thing is the back accessory is going to be really helpful for anybody that's basically wanting something that's going to do more damage as you lose health. So if you've got tanky builds, counter builds, you're going to find a lot of counter players are going to love this. But as far as Plume Monarchs go, it's valuable, but I don't know. As far as a lot of the back accessories that are in the game, this is one of the better ones that I've seen. As far as what you get and the amount of damage you do is really only going to be limited inside of whatever your damage loss is in terms of HP. So, it's good, but it's probably not the best possible piece. And it's a noticeable change, but it's worthwhile, I think, for most people. That said, you may notice that the trade bazaar, and obviously, you can grab different shards in here. You can grab Red Soul Selection 1. There is a skin, so you can get a costume, which I'm now designating that as the furry costume. But there is some other interesting stuff, notably like the headwear and some bits and pieces here and there. Of course, in the Soul Tamer pack, you can grab individual packs and buy them straight out if you want. It's obviously an option, but if you want to learn how to save money while you're doing that, then make sure to watch the end of the video and take a look into that. That said, of course, Supreme Hunter's going on, so that's pretty much where a lot of people are posting their time. And you can go into Taming Range and you can acquire some summon bells if you actually rank all the way. So I can kind of show you how it works. It's really relatively straightforward. It's just a tap and click and a tap and a click type deal. You just don't want to fall and die. That's really about all there is to it. And it is timer based. You can double tap though. Oh, see, like that, I could have double tapped, and I didn't double tap when I could have, but either way, you can kind of see how it works. Don't mind don't mind me, but anyway, so there's that. Of course, we got the PAL design contest going on. Yeah, there's 30% off. There's also an opportunity to get a waifu, and then if you're wondering how do I turn the waifu on, how do I get it, you just tap on your lamp level and then top right, and then you can pretty much put it into use from there. And then lo and behold. And of course, this is also how, when people got it from the ship event, that was where they also got to turn it on. Of course, you've also got Lucky Spinner going on, so make sure you're saving your tokens. And of course, I'm still working on my Beast PAL build, but so far this is, it just takes time. I'm just working on getting the PAL crit stat, so right now I'm not really too worried about, even though I've got PAL combo here, I really just want PAL crit is really what I want. Because a lot of your damage, you can do a stupid amount of it if you've got very high PAL crit. So I'm working on that, but ultimately, that is pretty much it as far as the update is concerned, as far as I know. The most of you guys are probably at least somewhat aware of the Shroomy tournament going on. And obviously you've got to go through and do your rinks in there too. But if anything, guys, the big thing with this event is the big, wonderful creature. Now, you do have a prey selection. You could get the Siren's Whisper, the Eye of the Raven. And I can tell you, I still kind of wish I could get Eye of the Raven. It'd be nice to get. But I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever actually get that far, and whether I'll be lucky enough to get it is going to be kind of a question on in and of itself. But that said, I am running these pals at the moment, and then for skills, I'm just kind of playing around with different skills to kind of see what can work and what couldn't work. But as you can tell, my power ranking's really low right now since I've basically swapped out my gear. But like here, there's some pal crit. So I mean, it'll take some time, but we'll eventually get all of our gear into pal crit eventually. And once we do, then and only then will we really have a better idea of just kind of how well this build's going to work out. But ultimately, so far, I'm also still kind of struggling in terms of trying to get avians, because what you have to do is basically you want to get the avian that you've got, like the lean candle, for example, which is cool, right? But the one I'm thinking of is the yogurt champ, who gives you pal crit, and you want this guy. That's the one you're gonna want. But he's an advanced tier, so he's kind of tricky to get. I haven't yet found a combination that I can use to kind of just get him out yet. But once I do, then and only then will we finally kind of get through most of that. I will say though, as far as where I'm at on the fusion souls, and again, that's kind of a picky thing on its own, right? But basically you got to get 4K to get that pal damage soul, which is going to take a little while. Of course, we can probably go ahead and buy some match ranks here, and let's see how well we do. Again, I'm only at 40K, so almost everybody in here is, well, 10x of what I've got. But we can see how well this works. And sometimes, I mean, what surprises me is even though I am showing 40K power, it's not doing that bad. But it's also using my plume gear. It's, you know, it's a little misleading, right? But it's not doing as bad as I thought. A lot of the cases, it's actually kind of on par, which is kind of interesting. So I kind of wonder how well this will work once we actually get the pal crit. And once we do, then and only then will we really get a better idea of just how well it is, and how better off we actually are. But I mean, as you can tell, just on base, it doesn't really do that bad. Like, it's actually surprisingly not as bad as one would expect. And obviously, I don't win every battle by any means, but I'm also not getting completely kicked out either. So, I mean, there is that element of it. But, you know, again, like anything, it just takes a while to get all the way upgraded. I am working on Guardian Star, but eventually I'll get the pal damage soul, and then I'll start, you know, increasing that exponentially along with my attack soul, and we'll just kind of see how well that can work in tandem. But, you know, like anything, guys, that is pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching, and make sure to check this part of the video out if you'd like to save some money along the way.